Donald Trump just dropped a bombshell tweet: unleash American energy. If this becomes reality, it's not a question of if Alberta's oil and gas driven economy, 25% of our GDP, will be affected. The real question is, how much will this shake things up? And what does that mean for Calgary's real estate market? The Calgary real estate market in 2024 outperformed 2023, but cracks are starting to show. I'll explain in a few seconds. Are the good times over for Calgary home sellers as we start 2025? Stick around as I break down December's numbers and share the big ideas that could impact Calgary's real estate market in 2025. In my opinion, pricing reflects supply and demand, and ultimately the strength of Calgary's real estate market. So when I say 2024 outperformed 2023, I'm specifically referring to price. The Calgary average benchmark price, meaning Calgary as a whole, hit a new record in 2024, coming in at $41,000 higher than 2023 and finishing the year at an average of $593,600. Here are those cracks that I was referring to. Demand. Sales have been slowing down yearly since 2022. Supply. New listings and inventory have increased by double digits. And there has been a little bit of a market shift. For the last 5 months of 2024, we've been on the doorstep of a balanced market. Now, in fairness though, part of that is due to seasonality. And finally, let's talk about the rental market. Did any of you guys try to rent out your property from August to December? I started noticing this in mid-August to about September that rent prices started dropping hundreds of dollars. I had a friend who reduced their basement rent from $1,650 to $1,400, and a client who was renting the upstairs from $2,500 to $2,100. If rents aren't as good as investors had expected, could we see them perhaps sell and adding more supply to the market? Now, even though prices ended up higher this year, if these trends continue, we could find ourselves in a balanced market soon. But before you buyers start popping the bubbly, remember, January and February prices have popped every year for the past 3 years. Will history repeat itself? My hunch says yes, but we'll have to wait and see. That said, I still believe Calgary home sellers are in a good position for 2025, except condo owners. Every property type has stayed in a seller's market, well, except for condos, and a pretty strong one at that. Let's dive into the December 2024 numbers and stick around because I'll also share some big ideas, 5 to be exact, that could shape Calgary's real estate market in 2025. Oh, and before we get started, what do you guys think will happen to the market in 2025? I would love to hear your thoughts because everyone has a different opinion, which I totally respect. So drop your guesses in the comments. Okay, let's go. Detached homes. So the detached market stayed strong throughout the year with 8 of the 12 months in the $750,000 to $760,000. In October, it was $753,900, November $750,100, and December $747,500. The 2024 average benchmark price was $72,925 higher than in 2023, finishing the year at an average of $748,683. This graph shows the monthly performance of Calgary detached homes from December of 2023 to December 2024. The red line shows a steady decline from our summer highs, but prices are still about $50,000 higher than December 2023. In December, the majority of sales happened between $700,000 and the $1 million range. A key factor of that, likely Ontarians selling their higher priced homes and relocating Calgary, driving demand in this price bracket. If you had a Calgary detached home to sell, in October, it would have taken you 32 days, November 34 days, and December 42 days. Now, I wouldn't be alarmed about the longer time to sell as this is seasonal and is normal every single year. I did double check this going all the way back to 2015. What I would be alarmed about for buyers is that the benchmark pricing could go north of $800,000 in 2025. Great if you're a seller. If you want to know exactly when to list your home, reach out. We'll create a custom plan for you looking at trends in your community and your property type from the past few years to maximize your sale price. We're already helping a handful of clients plan for this spring. So if you're thinking about selling, hit the link in the description below and let's talk. Months of supply. Okay, so this is a metric we use to determine what kind of market we're in, a buyer's, seller's, or balanced market. What it means is, based on the last month's sales, how many months would it take for it to sell all of its existing inventory? In Calgary, between 2.5 and 4 months is a balanced market. Anything less than 2.5 months is a seller's market. Anything more than 4 months is a buyer's market. In September, we peaked at 2.4 months and have trended downwards to 2 months in December. With lower rates, new mortgage rules, and the fact that prices popped in January and February last year, could we see the same trend repeat this year? Semi-detached home prices took off to the moon in 2024. Let's talk about supply. Now, despite almost 400 new listings and slightly more inventory than 2023, sales and pricing were stronger this year. Here's how prices moved. In October, it was $677, November $675 $100, and December $677 $600. The 2024 average benchmark price was $65,959 higher than in 2023, finishing the year at an average of $669,042. Despite some fluctuations month to month. If you had a semi-detached Calgary home to sell, in October it would have taken you 28 days, November 31 days, and December 41 days. We ended the year in a seller's market with just 2 months of supply. Looking ahead, we're pretty confident the benchmark price will hit $700,000 in 2025. That's only a 3.7% increase. So if you wait, spring probably will be the best time to list. Before I talk about the big ideas that could impact Calgary's real estate market in 2025, let's quickly rip through townhomes and apartments first. Townhomes were also super strong. Let's talk about supply. We had 900 new listings and 130 more inventory in 2024, yet sales and pricing were stronger than in 2023. Here's what happened with pricing. In October, it was $456,000 $600, November $454,000 $300, and December $447,000 $400. Despite the dip in December, the 2024 average benchmark price was $56,000 higher than in 2023, finishing the year off at an average of $452,000 $425. If you had a Calgary townhome for sale, in October, it would have taken you 31 days, November 35 days, and December 40 days. We ended the year in a seller's market with 2.09 months of supply. September marked the first time we hit 2 months of supply since November of 2021. And since then, it's consistently stayed under 2 months. I think it's realistic for benchmark prices to hit $500,000 in 2025. Townhomes never shifted into a balanced market in 2024. It stayed firmly in a seller's market all year long. I think the townhome market will continue its price uptrend in 2025, making it an exciting time for Calgary homeowners looking to sell. Condos had some strength behind it too, but was the weakest sector. Here was the supply for condos. We had 1,100 new listings and 217 more inventory. And although sales were about 300 less, pricing ended up higher. In October, it was $341,700, November $337,800, and December $332,400. Even though we had a ton of new listings and inventory and fewer sales, the average 2024 benchmark price was $43,858 higher than 2023, finishing the year at an average of $336,183. If you had a Calgary condo for sale in October, it would have taken you 35 days to sell, November 45 days, and December 48 days. The Calgary condo market hit a balanced market in September and stayed there, ending December with 2.9 months of supply. With so many purpose-built rental apartments in Calgary, both in the inner city and beyond, people are choosing to rent instead of buy, which could be the reason behind the softening of the condo market. Now, that said, if you're looking to sell a condo, I believe the increased availability of purpose-built rentals could create downward pressure on prices. That pressure, however, could be temporarily offset by the new mortgage rules, which came into effect on December 15th and caused some buyers to pause. These changes allow for first-time home buyers with less than 20% down to opt for a 30-year amortization, and new build buyers to benefit from lower monthly payments. I think these new rules will have the biggest impact on the condo market, especially as more new build condos hit the market, giving buyers better options for lower mortgage payments. The 5 big ideas that could shape Calgary's real estate market in 2025. Number 1, housing starts in Calgary. As of November 2024, we've hit 22,652 starts, making Calgary the 3rd highest in Canada. Will this increase in supply pave the way to a balanced market, or will demand stay strong enough to keep prices steady? Number 2, oil and gas. With 25% of Alberta's GDP tied to oil and gas and Trump's recent Unleash American Energy policy, the question isn't if Alberta's GDP will be affected, but how much? Number 3, mortgage rules. Changes from December 15th now allow 30-year amortizations for eligible first-time buyers on resale and new builds. 4, mortgage rates. With rates expected to go lower, how much of an impact will this have on buyer activity and prices? And 5th, market cycles. Every industry has its ups and downs. After 4 strong years, rising inventory might signal a more stable market in 2025. Breaking down all of these factors and their potential impact on the Calgary real estate market isn't simple. So if you want to stay informed as these developments unfold, take 2 seconds to subscribe to our channel for monthly Calgary real estate updates. Now, if you're thinking about investing in real estate and wondering whether to buy a detached home, a townhome, or a condo, check out our video linked up here for our expert insights. If you found this video helpful, I would love your support if you took 2 seconds to hit that like button. My name is Felix Shan, Calgary Realtor and Mortgage Broker with the Live Inner City Real Estate team powered by Real Broker, and we'll see you in the next video.